Hello again, welcome to the channel, and in this episode I think it's actually time to start welding the body. It's been waiting almost a year now, and as you can see it's transformed to a storage. So I think the first thing is just to clean all the parts out of the car. I have all 4 floor panels for the car, so I might start with those because they are like simple because you have already the part. But mostly I think I'm just gonna have to make it from from basic sheet metal and transform it to fit. But I was looking, for example, these window frames. They are pretty like complex shapes, and I remember that I have one 244 Volvo just laying in my dad's place. So I was thinking that maybe I could cut some parts like the frame for the windshield, for example, and use it in here. And also in 164 the headliner is like a soft material, and the 244 it's like white hard top. So I was thinking I might use that also. But first let's start cleaning the car and see where to start. I have had little lazy start with the welding. If I have like any other things to do, I do them first before I start doing the sheet metal stuff. But I have managed to put one new sheet metal inside the floor panel. It's now just spot welded. This cap is little too wide, so it's not that easy to weld. That section is like little beam type of thing, like cross beam. So after I removed the old panel, I saw inside there and there was a little bit rust. So I first put like the phosphor acid, and after that I put some zinc paint. But I'm not gonna worry too much about the inside of these sections. For me it is good enough if I have like good looking sheet metal inside and outside, like under and above the car. I still need to make one little piece in here just to make it complete. And after that I'm gonna change the same kind of piece in the front section. And in between I think I'm gonna cut it like from here and change this section also, just to make this seem like fresh metal from that side, because this side is already changed, so this is not too bad. But I think these are like original, so I want this whole section to have new metal. But I felt like when I started doing the metal stuff, all the tools just like was covering the area, and it was like I was lacking like a nice table to work on. I have this small welding table, but when I put this bending upper part and that thing, it's like it is really small to work on. And I had some stuff and idea from the summer, so now I decided to do that. So here is my new table for the metal stuff. It is quite big area, and I also bought some new tools last spring. I don't remember the English names, some kind of bead roller or something. And this is shrinker slash extender. They both are like the basic version. This is, you have to manually turn it, and that is for hand use and not for leg use. That would be better. And I have some tools inside. These are different kind of rollers for that tool, like basic edge type of thing, and also this kind. Those that are there now, I bought like separately. With those you can bend like 90 degrees. So you could do almost like these kind of bends. And when you do it, this shape usually doesn't like stay like you would like it. So you have to stretch or shrinking this edge. And that is when this tool comes in handy. So this is the shrinker. You put the metal between there and you can see that it's gonna like squeeze it. So it's gonna shrink. And then you change this one if you want to stretch it. Then I also bought this saw just for like tight spots. If I cannot use the angle grinder, this might come handy. And I also bought this air hammer. It came with 4 different kind of heads. I think this would be like good to separate like spot welds. You know, just first you have to drill the welds, and after that just put that between the metals and open it up. And this head I bought separately if I want to smoothen something like after hammering or stuff. And one tool that I would like to make someday is for the hammer, make some kind of like a frame and have a foot pedal for the air, and have the gun like upside, and under it have some kind of like this, so you could like smoothen the metals with that. That would be nice. Then I have some just basic tools, and I also bought this. With this you can like clip 2 metals together, and between there is this small cap that you just need to weld it. These are very handy, but if there's like a cross beam section, like in here, you cannot use these in here because you don't have access behind this, and with these you have to have the access. So they are good, but I think I need to find also the different kind of ones that you just can put, that you can just use from this side only. And under here I have just some sheet metals, still pretty like empty. This frame is like old map table, so they use this shelf to have maps inside. That's why it is so big, and there's so many. So these are very good like for thin stuff. For example these sheet metals. I have still 5 of these if I want to put more. And I just quickly weld it here. And also I bought these tires a while ago, and I just welded here just to make it like quickly. And I also bought this sandbag. It is filled with sandblasting sand. You can like make the shape you want and hammer the metal in here. And I also have this basic sheet metal hammering set with different kind of pieces. But yeah, now I have the table. So I think it's gonna help to start the process, because if you put all the stuff inside the car and then you have to roll it, you have to clean everything, and it's a little frustrating. So now I have a good table to lay my tools, lay the sheet metal, and I can start actually doing some progress with the car. The metal work started rolling finally. I've been doing few hours per evening whole week, and now I have already the floor panels for the driver's side almost done. The rear one and the front one. Still need one piece in between them. The original structure is like this side wall comes and bends and connects to this outer part, and the floor panels are just like spot welded. This is like the original style. But the repair pieces, they come like with angle, so they are meant to be a little different. This is the first piece that I put it here. So I just cut it from here. So this doesn't like continue behind this. So I need to weld this side to the floor, like inside the car, like I started here, to make it as strong as it should be. But in the front I started doing more like original style. And for example, the middle piece is like just straight sheet metal. And these are the original drain holes that were missing in the rear. So I made one here in the middle, and one I'm gonna make in here. I need to patch this thing, so this is gonna be a good spot. They are quite important so that the water can come out and doesn't rust them too badly. I still need to spot weld this and make a little patch in here. This is just like normal when you start working with this kind of metal work again. You very easily make the holes too big. I think I'm gonna improve those kind of things now that I started working, so I get a little better feeling for the tools and the metal, how it bends. But yeah, I'll try to keep this phase going and do every evening a little bit, because this was a little like a step to start. So now I try to keep it rolling, so it's like almost happening by itself. And tomorrow is weekend, Saturday, so I think I'm gonna do few longer days to get this step like really going. I finished the floor panels in the driver's side. They are now welded and grinded, and I started to go upwards along this seam, and there was few rust spots like visible inside, but the situation escalated. Yeah, there is like 3 or 4 different panels combining in these spots, so it is not that simple. First you have to like figure out which one comes first. Like this seam, these two are visible from here, and they have like spot weld seam in here, and inside there is this some kind of reinforcement panel that is spot welded in here. Some people might do like bigger sections, but I figured that if I cut too much, I'm gonna lose the shape, so I prefer to do like smaller patches if there is nothing wrong in the middle. And this inner fender, this was like full of little holes. Like this. It is rusted inside this support beam. This is the top section. Same thing. It is totally rusted from the inside. So I'm not sure what is the cause, because maybe there is some kind of water passage in here, but there is no hole in here, so it's like completely, at least it was completely like blocked. So I'm not sure, is there some kind of problem in here? For example, because this is missing the support for the seal, so maybe it's leaking in the wrong place, I'm not sure. But the other side is in much better shape. Yeah, it seems a little complex at first. It's hard to tell like what you need to cut, but piece by piece you started to have little more sense in the situation. And for me, I think it's better to like cut all the bad metal out, that you see the whole picture, and it gives you easier access to these some areas, because if this would be okay and I still need to go there, it's very hard to get there without removing some parts first. So sometimes you have to cut even healthy metal just to access some places. Volvo has painted these beams also like from inside. And I think many people, they prefer to use the Volvo's paint. It is still available because it is somehow weldable. You can weld it even if it's painted. It doesn't like boil off too much, I think. I made some progress here. Now this section is like fully closed, so not gonna see inside the car anymore. First I did just basic 90-degree angle, and then I used the extensor to make a little bit curve here, and then use the bed roller to make this smaller angle. And I think it came pretty good. I'm happy with the tools. Now this inner area is already fully closed. You cannot see through anymore. After the paint, I'm gonna put some kind of sealer in the seam to make it fully waterproof. The other side is not that good looking, but that is for the future me to worry about. The weekend did its purpose. The work started to flow like pretty okay. I got the rhythm, and it was good to see that I enjoyed to make these nice looking metal parts and weld it together, and it started to go like smoothly, I would say. And that was the whole point for this weekend, because the start was a little bit like I wasn't feeling it. It is nice to continue from this. Of course, I need to work even in the weekly pace, like after my work, to keep it going. And the next thing is to close this inner fender big piece. And after that I need to figure out how I'm gonna make this beam section, because this isn't like a sharp corner, it's it has some radius in it, so I need to figure it out how to replicate that. This piece was already a little bit tricky. It is curved in both ways. The English wheel would have been perfect tool for this, but I don't have it yet. But I just made it with a hammer, and the inner fender is whole again. I got the patches done. I still need to grind the welds. It's almost a year ago when I sandblasted the body. It hasn't been like rusted, but I think it's a little bit like moisture because it seems to dry next to the weld. So I think I need to heat the body a little bit, at least try what the heat does to it before paint. Nice progress. I don't like this edge. It is badly bended and also like patched quite heavily, and it still has some holes, rust holes. So it would need lots of like small repairs. But behold, I got to use my tools. I'm a little bit proud of this. I'm not like a metal guy, so this is new for me. It has little bend in the other way, and then there is this reinforcement beads between the bolt holes. So I think after I got this welded here, it looks pretty good. The support beam is whole again. This was quite complex part. There are different shapes, so in so many directions. I ended up using the original top piece because it wasn't that much rusted, even from the inside, and just changed the sides. And also this top section that connects to the frame, this was rusted. So this was the first piece I changed. After that I made this side. The bead roller machine was really handy with this one. You can make this curve angle. And this side, at first I just cut like 6 centimeter wide long piece, and I used my bending machine to make 90-degree angle. So it was just a straight piece at first, and then I used the stretcher / rinker to make this curve. It is a little bit curvy also in the other direction, so that was really good machine for this. And then I just welded these pieces together. And yesterday I painted this other side of this repair piece and also the section that was left under it with zinc spray, just to make it a little more rust proof. But I think I'm gonna spray some kind of stuff after the paint, like inside this beam. Like I'm gonna put all these beam sections. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this part. Of course, these seams aren't perfect. I'll see if I use a filler in here and make it a little more pretty. But this is not gonna be like a show car. For me, it's enough that it's just whole again and just basic, clean looking. Now the driver's side is done all the way from here to the rear floor. The inner fenders, the frame, the other side doesn't look that bad, so I think it's gonna be a little easier to do. Maybe next thing is to repair this seam under the hood and just continue to the other side and go back. The trunk and rear fenders, there are some improvements to make, mostly like removing the old repairs and just make it more clean, because they are made little. I don't claim to be professional at this metal work, not at all, and that is why I haven't been like filming repairs like step by step, because I don't want to teach you how to not do it. There are like real professionals whose videos you should watch if you want to learn. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this video here, because this takes time and I just wanna keep you like updated how it is going. And I think it's a solid start. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.